What up? What up? What up? It's your boy James, aka Ralph's favorite. Now I know you're thinking to yourself, James, why am I not watching the video? Chill. We're gonna get to the video. But before we do that, I want to say on behalf of TBD, we appreciate you for taking the time out to watch this video. And we appreciate you for listening to the podcast. More importantly, we just appreciate you taking the time to be with us, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with us today. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to first like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and then hit that notification bell. So that way you're notified when we drop a new video. And remember, it's all TBD. Now let's go ahead and get back to that video.
And it is.
Oh, great segue, B, right? With the whiting of our society and the white women, and we just
I see where you're going with that.
Are you going to Caitlin Clark, or where you going?
I'm absolutely going. Yeah, that's where I'm going.
That wasn't the white woman I was talking about, but that is a perfect segue, because then that'll segue into the other sport topic with the white woman.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
I was going to Caitlin Clark. So,
All right. So the saga that won't end. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. So the WNBA season started last week on Saturday, and the marquee game of the week, in my mind, was the Indiana Fever versus the Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark plays for Indiana Fever. Angel Reese plays for the Chicago Sky.
Who won that game, babe?
Last week?
Yeah, was it Indiana that won?
By 35. It wasn't close.
Oh, shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I watched the whole game. So, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have been linked together since college, where, Angel Reese famously celebrated in Caitlin Clark's face when her team beat Caitlin Clark's team in the national championship, right? She did the "you can't see me" celebration, hand over the face for you, right? So ever since then, it's been a rivalry, or people make it a quote unquote rivalry. So those two players will, unfortunately, I'm saying unfortunately because I hope not, be linked together for the rest of their careers. They both got drafted. Absolutely. Yeah, they both got drafted. Yeah, it does. But both got drafted the same year. They both decided to go to WNBA the same year. Caitlin Clark was the first pick. Angel Reese was the 7th pick. And, there have been incidents. This is their second year. The season just started. Last year was their first year. And there were incidents last year between the two teams and the two players respectively, some good and some not so great. So there were fouls by Angel Reese on Caitlin Clark. There were fouls by Angel Reese's teammates on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were on the same team during the All-Star game. Angel Reese did congratulate Caitlin Clark on, being the Rookie of the Year and breaking, I think it was an assist record last year. I can't remember. So it's been, up and down, to say the least. So Saturday's game, Caitlin Clark fouled Angel Reese to prevent Angel Reese from scoring a layup, and Angel Reese reacted to the foul like she wanted to fight. If anyone looks at the video, if Caitlin Clark didn't walk away, it's reasonable to assume that there may have been a physical altercation between the two.
Was it a show?
I want your opinion. I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Well, first thing, let me ask you this. And I want you both, and I didn't consider this because, first of all, I didn't watch the game, so everything I saw was replay type. Was the foul as hard as Angel Reese made it seem?
So I don't really even think that matters.
Okay.
Because, and I'll tell you why. I mean, and we see it
more often in the men's game, where someone gets fouled and they, put maybe a little, not the flop part, but I'm saying they put a little extra on it, and they pop up, ready to whatever. But we all know that nobody in the NBA is really throwing a punch, right? So
they make too much money.
Think that they make way too much money. So I mean, I think that type of reaction that Angel Reese had is a normal kind of basketball reaction when you are hit in a way that you might feel as though is a little extra. Now the foul, I didn't think it was extra. I mean, but there was a little bit of a shove at the end of the foul, but I just think that those types of like emotional reactions to fouls is not out of bounds with basketball. And I think that, when we talk about the reaction, I think we can probably all confidently say that women's basketball, they get rough.
Very.
They absolutely get rough. Right? They absolutely get rough. It's always been like that. So the reaction, I didn't really think was way out of bounds. I think that the flagrant foul and all of that, I think that is how the refs try to keep the game clean. But I mean, I think that the foul was a foul and the reaction was a reaction. I mean, I think that both of their kind of interviews about it, to me, kind of poured like cold water on it. And you can tell that they both are like media trained. Like they are not saying anything out of bounds. Right? Angel Reese's response was, it was a basketball play. Refs got it right. We moving on. Right. That was her response to that play. There was response to some other things that happened during the game. I don't know if we're going to touch on that, but I think that their rivalry is more of a rivalry of fan bases. Yes. And I don't know how much the players are feel that type of rivalry.
I think, based on what I've seen, that Angel Reese has whatever the emotion is right under hate for Caitlin Clark. And I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why. Going back to college, the celebrating in her face the way she did was excessive.
But you know why she did it.
As a man, that would have got you punched in the face. If somebody did that the way that she did it.
Not if that man was Shaquille O'Neal and you was little ass John Stockton. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that's the dynamic you did too, but Angel Reese is much bigger than Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
I see Westbrook doing this, the Embiid after the games. Y'all can't see me, but doing the wave, and Dame doing
Westbrook
the wave.
Looked like he bowed it. He'll take an ass whooping and give one. I don't know if Caitlin Clark want to get that.
No, that's true. So okay. So let me continue on. So the way she celebrated afterwards, her reasoning for celebrating the way she did afterwards was strange. So her reasoning was she did that to South Carolina. So when this was in 2023, I want to say it was, Caitlin Clark's Iowa team beat undefeated South Carolina, coached by Dawn Staley. And Angel Reese said when her team beat Caitlin Clark's team that, the SEC, which is the conference that they're in, those are our girls, and so she did it for them, which was a strange take.
How can that be strange?
You don't care about South Carolina, especially when you and Camila Cardoso got into a fight.
One, that's an isolated case. I mean, I know what you're saying, but I think
it'd be like if
chill. No, don't say it.
I mean, I think that's
that argument.
I feel what you're saying, but I think
I would say from a sports perspective, probably the biggest insult is to do someone else's celebration towards them. I mean, so I totally saw it as inbounds.
Didn't Ray Lewis do that, John? I mean, not Ray Lewis.
Fine. You can do somebody else's celebration.
Listen, I remember T-Ump did the Ray Lewis thing. As an Eagle.
And Ray was beating him up, right?
But here's the thing. If T.O. knew not to follow Ray and do it.
I got you. She did. I think she did it. She did it at the handshake line, right? Was it the handshake line, right?
She did it when the game was over. She did it when the game was over.
And ran up on her.
She ran up on her with the celebration, like mocking her. Make sure you see it. It was excessive. You got to look at it. So that was excessive. That was excessive, and her reasoning I really didn't buy. Now I will say she got way too much backlash for it. Okay. Also going into the WNBA, Angel Reese had a teammate, Kennedy Carter, who hip checked Caitlin Clark on an inbounds play. It was not a basketball play at all. And when it happened, Angel Reese jumped up off the bench to clap and celebrate Kennedy, her teammate, flagrantly fouling Caitlin Clark. And most recently, I'll bring up, of course, I did mention earlier, Angel Reese did flagrantly foul Caitlin Clark last year. She hit her in the head. It looked like she hit her in the head.
Angel hit her teammate before that play.
Okay. Also, I got two more things I want to mention about this. Then y'all can go. Also, there is film of Angel Reese saying of Angel Reese getting flagrantly fouled and not reacting that way. She actually had a total opposite reaction where she said, "Hey, I want to thank the person who flagrantly fouled me to let me know that this is a league that you're not going to take it easy on us. We got to grow and blah, blah, blah." And the last thing I want to mention is the most recent thing is Angel Reese is now being investigated by the WNBA for reposting a tweet that alluded to Caitlin Clark running from the fade. It said "white girl running from the fade," and Angel Reese reposted that tweet. Couple other thoughts. I don't want this for either of these players. I think that Angel Reese kind of bit off more than she could chew, not knowing what the Caitlin Clark movement was and what's behind it. That a lot of the people who are behind Caitlin Clark aren't necessarily WNBA fans. They just see white girl who's good getting attention, and we're going to support that. In Indiana, which is not the most friendly state. I've been there. I know. And I think Angel Reese bit off more than she can chew, and I think she's like in it. She's in it. Also, Angel Reese, if you're going to be in it like this, you got to make a decision at this point. You got to either be in it and commit to being the best basketball player you can be, or be out of it and do what you're doing. I get that, it might not be your goal to be the greatest WNBA player. Like, I appreciate Angel Reese's lane of IU Barbie, I'm lit, I look a certain way.
Broke a record for WNBA.
Right. She did. She's the fastest to 450 rebounds.
And points.
No, it was rebounds.
Not points.
It was rebounds.
Only rebounds.
Maybe it was a point and rebound element to it, but I definitely saw rebound. Let's not mince words. Caitlin Clark is a much better WNBA player than Angel Reese. And they compared it to Magic and Bird, but the thing with them was they were kind of comparable as players. This is not comparable. Caitlin Clark's a far better player. And if you want to keep yourself in this rivalry conversation, Angel Reese,
you got to commit to being a better WNBA player and stacking up some wins. Since y'all both have entered the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, I believe, is 5-1 against your team. So it's kind of very lopsided right now. I don't believe Caitlin Clark was thinking about Angel Reese in that sense, but the fan bases won't let it die. There are, again, white Caitlin Clark fans who just see white girl who's good and are going to support that. And there, on the Angel Reese side, there are black fans who just don't like white people or white women and don't understand why this white girl is getting all this attention. And they're not really basketball fans either. They're just supporting black. And it's like, well, it's not making sense.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but I just, yeah, for me, I just think that in sports and in any competitive setting, there's going to be emotions, and I think that even if they have a bitter rivalry, to put that kind of to put that type of this stigma on Angel Reese, I just feel as though I think it's a bit unfair. And everything that B said is correct. And there may be a rivalry. It may even be something that is manufactured. We don't even know. But I think that when we put when we call, or when someone, in my opinion, says that Angel Reese kind of hates Caitlin Clark, that puts more of a villain kind of persona on Angel Reese that I don't necessarily know is really deserving. I mean, and we can look at other just other rivalries that have been heated. I mean, even if you want to go back to the Magic Bird rivalries, I mean, they were heated. They was fighting.
Right.
I mean, to say that it's hate, I think it just a little unfair because we don't really know that she hates this woman. And I would say that it's been more complimentary statements, and that could just be media train, but more complimentary statements, versus actual incident. Now, if you want to talk about some people that hate each other, I mean, Isaiah hates Matt. I mean, Isaiah hates Mike.
Yeah, that's
a hate. Right. And I just don't want to put that type of label. Yeah, Scotty definitely has grown to hate Mike. But yeah, I mean, and that's it. And I wish that we were talking about the fact that that game between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark's teams, that it blew the ratings off the water. I think a Yankees game was the same day or the same night.
Yeah.
And it like doubled their viewers. So I mean,
not just a Yankees game, it was the Yankees and the Mets. It was a Subway Series game.
Subway Series.
That's a pretty big deal.
It lapped them. Them. So I mean, that should be the story. There wasn't much story in the game because it was a blowout. So that couldn't be the story. So I mean, this is the story. I would like for the ladies to go back to just playing basketball, but it's something that they were drafted the same year.
Yeah.
This is going to be, it's going to be scrutinized forever.
It's a lot of Magic Bird parallels.
Here, a push here is going to, everything is going to be just reignited. Reigniting.
There's a couple quick points, but it was points and rebounds. 450 points, 450 rebounds, fastest player. Among other records that she's broken, most consecutive double-doubles, rebounds in the season, things of that nature, right? Much like you guys alluded to, basically, this will be a thing. This has been a thing since college. It probably will continue to be a thing, while it will really never reach the height of Magic Bird. But I do think the powers that be at the WNBA feed into this, because this brings excitement to their game. This Caitlin Clark coming into the league brought a whole audience you guys talked about that have nothing to do with WNBA at all, but just on the strength of the skin color, that some of them just on the strength of what she represents. And then you have people that on the Angel Reese side of things, they come into the game. I'm a prime example of a person that hasn't watched probably a WNBA game since Lisa Leslie and Rebecca Lobos, right? But I knew Diana Taurasi. I knew Cheryl Swoops. I knew Shamika Coleslaw. Like, I know these names, right? But I wasn't watching it. Now you bring it back. When I bring it back, move forward, you got Caitlin Clark and you got Angel Reese. Two polarizing images in WNBA. Good or bad, one is going to be the villain, one is going to be the great white hope. And I think in Angel Reese's case, I wouldn't come out and say that she hates her, but I don't think that's a bad take.
I agree.
To be honest with you.
I don't think it's a bad thing if she do hate. Like, if she do hate her, I don't think it's terrible.
Right. It would make sense.
Right. Absolute last thing on this from me is I think the WNBA is in a tough position because they have these two polarizing players who are bringing attention to the sport. And, you know, typically the statement is no publicity is bad publicity. Yeah. However, you're getting a lot of people contributing to the conversation who don't really care about basketball. And it can't be Caitlin Clark fouled Angel Reese, she racist. Like, that's where the conversation is going. That's not good. That's not good for the talk, but they need the attention because every year they've been operating in the red and needing a bailout from the NBA.
Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.